Once upon a time, nestled in a cozy little cottage at the edge of a sun-dappled forest, lived a loving mother goat with her 7 adorable kids. She adored them more than anything in the world, and they were as sweet and playful as could be. One bright morning, Mother Goat needed to go into the forest to gather some food for their dinner. Before she left, she gathered all her little ones around her. "My dearest children," she said, her voice warm but firm, "I must go out for a while. While I'm away, you must be very, very careful. There's a wicked big bad wolf lurking in these woods, and he would love nothing more than to gobble you all up. He's very clever and can disguise himself, so you must be on your guard. You'll know it's him by his rough, gravelly voice and his big black paws. Promise me you won't open the door to anyone unless you are absolutely sure it's me." The 7 little goats all bleated in unison. "We promise, Mother. We'll be very careful. Don't you worry about us." With a final loving look, Mother Goat trotted off into the forest, feeling a little anxious but trusting her children to be sensible. It wasn't long before there was a knock at the door. A deep, gruff voice called out, "Open the door, my dear children. Your mother is back and has brought something lovely for each of you." But the little goats were clever. They immediately recognized the harsh, scratchy voice. "No, no," they cried out. "You're not our mother. Her voice is soft and sweet, but yours is rough and gruff. You must be the big bad wolf." Furious at being found out so easily, the wolf stomped away, his stomach rumbling. He needed a plan. He snuck to a nearby shop and bought a large piece of chalk. He nibbled and nibbled on it until his throat felt smooth, and his voice became much higher and softer. Then he trotted back to the cottage. Knock, knock, knock. This time, a much gentler voice called out, "Open the door, my darlings. Your mother has returned with treats from the forest." The voice sounded so much like their mother's that the little goats were almost fooled. But just as they were about to unbolt the door, the cleverest of them peeked through a crack at the bottom. He saw a pair of big black paws resting on the windowsill. "We're not opening the door," they all shouted. "Our mother doesn't have black paws like you. Hers are pure white. You are the wolf." Grumbling and angrier than ever, the wolf stormed off again. He was determined to get inside that cottage. His wicked mind hatched a new plan. He ran to the village baker. "I've hurt my paw," he lied, trying to sound pitiful. "Could you please put some dough on it for me?" The baker, feeling sorry for him, spread a layer of soft, sticky dough over the wolf's big black paw. The wolf didn't stop there. He then raced to the miller's. "Oh, Mr. Miller," he said sweetly, "could you please sprinkle some of your fine white flour on my paw?" The miller, a kind-hearted soul, saw no harm in it and dusted the wolf's dough-covered paw until it was as white as freshly fallen snow. Now the wolf was ready. For the 3rd time he returned to the cottage. He knocked gently on the door. "Open up, my sweet children," he cooed in his chalk-softened voice. "Your mother is home." The little goats called back, "Show us your paw, so we know it's really you." The wolf slyly lifted his paw, now covered in white flour, and pressed it against the window pane. When the little goats saw the white paw, they believed it truly was their mother. Their hearts filled with joy, and they excitedly drew back the bolt and swung the door wide open. But instead of their loving mother, the terrifying big bad wolf burst into the room. The poor little goats shrieked in terror and scattered in every direction, desperately trying to hide. One scurried under the table, another jumped into the bed, a 3rd hid in the stove, the 4th ran to the kitchen, the 5th squeezed into a cupboard, and the 6th hid under the washbowl. But the wolf was too quick. He found them one by one, and without a second thought, he opened his massive jaws and swallowed them whole. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little goats gone in a flash. The only one he missed was the very youngest, the tiniest of them all. She had found the perfect hiding spot, squeezing herself inside the tall grandfather clock case. The wolf, his belly now full and heavy, felt very sleepy. He waddled out of the cottage, found a shady spot under a large tree in a meadow, and fell fast asleep, snoring loudly. A short while later, Mother Goat returned from the forest. As she approached her cottage, a terrible feeling washed over her. The front door was wide open. She rushed inside, her heart pounding in her chest. The house was in complete chaos. Chairs and tables were overturned, blankets were ripped, and the washbowl was shattered on the floor. She called out for her children, one by one, but there was no answer. She searched everywhere, her calls growing more frantic with each passing moment. Her babies were gone. Finally, she called for her youngest. A tiny, trembling voice answered from inside the grandfather clock. "I'm in here, Mother." Mother Goat quickly opened the clock case, and her littlest one tumbled into her arms, sobbing. The little goat told her everything about the wolf's tricks with the chalk and the flour, and how he had swallowed all of her brothers and sisters. Mother Goat's sadness quickly turned to a fiery determination. She had to save her children. Taking her youngest with her, she followed the path of destruction out of the cottage and towards the meadow. Soon she spotted the big bad wolf lying under the tree, snoring so loudly that the branches above him trembled. As she got closer, she noticed something strange. Something was wriggling and kicking inside the wolf's enormous belly. Could it be? She whispered. Could my children still be alive in there? A glimmer of hope sparked in her heart. She sent her youngest goat to run back home and fetch her sewing kit, a pair of scissors, a needle, and some thread. Quiet as a mouse, Mother Goat crept up to the sleeping wolf. With steady hands, she took the scissors and began to snip open the wolf's tummy. With the very first cut, one little goat poked his head out. She cut a little more, and a second goat jumped out, then a third, and a fourth, and a sixth. All of them, completely unharmed, tumbled out onto the grass, overjoyed to be free and to see their mother. There were hugs and happy bleats all around, but their work wasn't finished. Mother Goat had an idea. "Quickly, children," she said, "go and find the biggest, heaviest stones you can carry." The 7 goats scrambled to the nearby riverbed and returned, rolling heavy stones towards their mother. One by one, they filled the wolf's belly with the stones until it was completely full. Then, Mother Goat, with her nimble hooves, skillfully sewed the wolf's skin back up so perfectly that he wouldn't notice a thing. The wolf slept on and on. When he finally woke up, he felt incredibly thirsty. The heavy stones in his stomach made him feel sluggish and weighed down. He groaned and staggered to his feet, intending to go to the river for a drink. But with every step he took, the stones inside his belly rumbled and knocked against each other. "Oh, my stomach," he moaned. "It feels like it's full of rocks instead of goats." When he reached the riverbank, he leaned over to take a long drink of the cool water. But the stones were so heavy that they pulled him forward. He lost his balance, tumbled head over heels, and fell into the deep water with a tremendous splash. The weight of the stones dragged him straight to the bottom, and that was the end of the big bad wolf. The 7 little goats and their mother, who had been watching from a safe distance, cheered with delight. They danced and sang together, their hearts full of joy and relief. From that day on, they all lived together peacefully in their cozy little cottage, and they never had to worry about the big bad wolf ever again. They had learned a valuable lesson and lived happily ever after. Thank you so much for joining me for this story today. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more wonderful tales. See you next time.